Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So as all the previous talks has mentioned, the industry and everyone has high expectation of AR. But up to now, we don't see the AR is growing as fast as most people anticipated. So in this talk, I will talk about what we think are the key features for AR. What are the key obstacles to before AR can really take off? So first, let me talk about what user is thinking, what the user want. What are the most important factors that user want AR to be? Then next step, we can do a further analysis of what are the technical levels currently we are at and how to improve those things to meet user expectations. So first is about vision. Vision means display optics that give the user high resolution, high FOVs. And second thing is about immersion. Immersion actually incorporate a lot of other things. Immersion means let user feel everything is real. That means look at everything, feels like it looks real. Also, when interacting with everything, feels like the interaction is real. I'm interacting naturally, easily, just like interacting with real objects. Then usability. Usability means the interaction needs to be very efficient. I can manipulate data quickly. It can sense hand actions, nimbly can sense all the finger actions, so I can manipulate 3D objects. So can work with high efficiency. So this is a problem of input, interaction, and also display as well. What are the new way of overlaying 3D objects with real objects so they have good amount of occlusion, everything looks proper. This affects usability as well. And the next thing is wearability. So AR device, if wear like a glass type of AR, it needs to feel good and look good. Feel good means it's light, I can wear it for hours. And look good because AR is unlike a phone or VR device. Other people really is looking at me, so it needs to look good as well. The next, affordability. Affordability doesn't really mean it need to be at $100 level because we already seeing iPhones and flagship Android phones dominating the market, and those devices sells for $600, $700 US dollars. But there's a catch. If we want to release AR glass at this price level, then we need to make sure it can really replace the current phones. If it is same price, but it cannot replace the phone, people still won't gonna buy it. Or we can make sure the AR device really have some unique features that the phone cannot do. That's okay as well if we want to sell it at this price point. But so far we don't see any, I will say, any AR device really it is so unique, solve the problem cell phone cannot solve. So that's why the problem to the mass adoption. People feel, oh, it's nice to have. It is eye candy. I can see it in 3D, feels very amazing, but actually cell phone can solve the same thing the AR glass can solve. Or there's another path, is to make AR happen on the phones. So we see this is a big trend from the tech giants, Facebook, Apple, Google, all also moving in this direction. So this is a smart move, so allow people to have feeling, get used to AR before the glass can take off. But so far, this kind of approach also limited in eye candy fun factor, like Snapchat, using AR to have high fun factor to attract user to their social network. But really, it's not at the glass level, really solving the core problems we want to solve. Last, mobility means the power consumption need to be low, can work for a long time, also cut wire. Also means the data service need to have good data service to enable the mobility. So understanding those core needs from the user, we can go a step further into what are the technologies enabling this and what are their levels. So vision. Vision is mainly display and optics problem. We see many companies contributing in this area. It is so today not at the level satisfying with wide FOV. Maybe need 3 to 5 years to get there. The next, immersion. Immersion actually need a lot of technology to do it. Display is one of them. Also the UI rendering, as I said, to have good immersion feeling, the UI rendered need to be high quality, so need the mobile GPU to be fast enough, design of the UI, also need the sensing unit to really sense the depths of the real world to render with the proper occlusion. So this is also part of the rendering, also part of world data. World data means the system can really sense the world, note the depths. Then the next is interaction. Immersion means the interaction also need to be immersive. Then better to be without any controllers. User can use freehand to manipulate the real object, at the same time virtual object around the real object. So usability. This is a UI problem, how to design a proper UI for AR. And world data, to make it really usable, need to pull the data around this location. Also to recognize objects, know what they are, and locate them with precise 6DoF information. Usability, again, interaction is also important. I will talk more about this interaction. Wearability, again, is everything is related to wearability, because to make it wearable and light, all these technology need to be very small, very light. Affordability, same. All these components need to be cheap. And the mobility as well. All these components need to run with very high power efficiency. Okay, so as we can see, the user's need really translate to those 4 key factors, technical problems we need to solve. So where are we in those areas? Today I will skip the display and the UI, the 3D rendering part, more focus on the data part and the interaction part. And this is a curve. You can see that these are the problems we need to solve, world data and the freehand interaction. Something we kind of already solved is orientation, rotation. That's easy. This is the mobile VR improvement curve, and this is the AR, mobile AR improvement curve. We see that HoloLens have the ability to sense the room geometry, recognize objects, and freehand interaction have a little bit freehand interaction. So when I list the Meta or Dacry, I mean the last year they are first-gen products. Right now they also have more and more these abilities. So world data, it means several different level of data. First, large-scale location-based information from the game of Pokemon Go is a perfect demonstration of that. They have city-scaled information about interesting places, and accuracy need to be 1 meter accuracy. Response time about 10 seconds latency is okay. And next level is smaller scale but more accurate, lower latency requirement is surface recognition, object recognition, and localization means really can also localize the 6 degrees of freedom of every object, not just recognize what's the class of the object. And the next, 6DoF head tracking, because to have good VR effect, AR effect, need to track the head position precisely. It is also room scale, 1 millimeter accuracy, and 10 millisecond latency. So what are the solutions for the world scale information, room scale information? We have Tango, HoloLens have that engine, can recognize the surface objects, Vuforia as well. And for 6DoF fast head tracking, these systems also have that feature, but there are also startup companies, Occipital and like uSens couldn't doing that. Qualcomm VR reference design also provide that feature. But there are challenges. One is accuracy, because all the SLAM-based head tracking algorithm, the accuracy actually should not be really marked as millimeters, should be the distance. Normally, rule of thumb is when I'm the closest object to the tracking system is 1 meter, then the accuracy is about 1 millimeter. It's about 1/1000th. If I'm really far away, I don't have anything close to me to track, everything is far away, then the error is also bigger. And second thing is the stability. When the room is dark or the room with white walls, nothing to track, how to track that. But now we have some new algorithms can handle these situations, not feature-based tracking. Also lower the CPU consumption, power consumption. This example is Qualcomm VR reference design. They used heavily optimized using the hexagon DSP. Most of the algorithm runs on the DSP to free up the CPU, also lower power consumption. Interaction, so we need 3D freehand interaction. The requirement is about millimeter accuracy and 20 millisecond latency. So what do we mean interaction? There are actually 3 types of interaction. One type is gesture interaction. Like HoloLens can do that, support 2 different gestures. So in real life, we use that when we face a person, when we communicate with people. We use that about 10% of the time. And second type of interaction is indirect manipulation with tools. Means I'm using this controller, do things, or I'm using a pen to draw in the air or draw on a table. This is second type of interaction. And the third type is direct manipulation, means people interacting with objects with unexpected size, shape, material, and the flexibility, like holding a bottle, examining it in any direction, holding different things, even holding the cloth, wear a cloth, try a cloth. So in AR, actually, the system need to actually handle all these 3 kind of interaction very well. Because people want to manipulate with virtual objects in the air. They might be a gear or maybe some clothes, can be any shape and size. So then different tracking interaction solutions like traditional gamepad, those controllers certainly not suitable, cannot do any of these. And the 6-DoF controllers cannot do gesture, cannot do good direct manipulation, can simulate a pen. But for AR, sometimes users don't want to hold anything. So 3D hand tracking, obviously, it can handle all these 3 kind of interaction with virtual objects or real objects. And where are we right now? So HoloLens can do this, and currently we are developing technology can handle all these kind of interactions. Then now here is the orientation. Sorry, guys. This is a demo that's our hand tracking algorithm running on AR glass. I believe this is Epson AR glass. Right? So this is the raw data coming from the SDK. It can track the hand, understand the internal bones. All the edges actually represent our physical, biological correct bones in the hand. So it uses machine learning algorithms and computer vision to understand the 3D skeleton of the hand. And it runs on the Epson glass, its internal ARM CPU. So with this technology, user is able to interact efficiently and naturally with augmented 3D objects or real objects as well. And here is another video showing computer vision-based 6-DoF head tracking plus hand tracking working at the same time. Yeah, so this year in AWE, we are showing our new result is using 1 camera module that can do 2 things simultaneously. Like HoloLens, they have 4 cameras to do 6-DoF head tracking plus 1 depth camera to do hand tracking. This is a pretty complex and expensive system, so we shrink it to only using 2 cameras to do everything at the same time. So this is an example of direct manipulation. User can interact with virtual objects just like in real life. Everything is real, physical. So although this is a VR demo, but we can imagine in AR use case, all these interactions are very important for good AR experience. Yeah, this is still direct manipulation. And the next is interacting by using a tool. So user can grab a virtual pen in VR or AR, then can directly doing the sculpture or doing the painting in the air. So in AR, designer really don't need to use a real pen, but he want to use, that's fine. And the next will also show gesture communication. By doing gesture in the air, the system can also recognize. Okay. So as a summary, so for computer vision and the deep learning, they are really important on AR devices because they can solve those three core problems for AR. One is 3D freehand interaction. One is world sensing, sensing the room scale, the surface reconstruction, 3D object recognition. Also, 6DoF head tracking. They are all computer vision deep learning problems. So again, in the end, saying the topic of this talk is 4 keys to AR. So we think the 4 keys are display, the UI and the rendering, world data, and the interaction. And what we are focusing on are the last 2 problems, and we think these actually also contain 4 keys. One is large-scale data, how to collect those data, how to send those data to user's device. Also, room-scale recognition of objects, and the head tracking. Then is the 3D freehand interaction. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you very